Postgame. Blouses.
Gallon chuck.
Disaster.
Spaghetti.
Disaster.
Well, I mean, I'm no doctor.
We now join America's most popular show, already in progress. Everybody loves
Mitch and Sean. You guys are the greatest duo.
Fantastic.
That team sure did suck last night. They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked.
Oh, welcome into the Postgame Pints podcast. Oh, I am feeling good today. Let me tell you, I'm Campbell. He's Gallo. We are at it once again as we're ready to welcome you in to 2021 and celebrate with a bang because I'm feeling good because I want to bet. Mitch, I want to bet. I want to bet.
Yeah, well, hey, that's why I wanted you to start the podcast this week because I'm like, it doesn't make sense for me to start. You know, winner, chicken dinner. You're the one who hit the home run in our bet. And I have to say, I was hoping it was going to be a little bit more competitive, a little bit closer. But it's funny how fantasy football works out from time to time because had you and I played in the semifinal, I would have beaten you decisively.
Oh,
but
easily.
Instead, you beat me on my off week. Your off week wasn't so bad that you weren't able to overcome it in the semifinals. But I put up like 160 points a week ago, and then all my players just had poor matchups or poor outings, and it wasn't even close. I was hoping that we would have that game between Green Bay and Tennessee, and it would come down to the wire, and I'd be counting touches for Derrick Henry, and you'd be counting passing yards for Aaron Rodgers and potential touchdown passes from Davante Adams. But no, it didn't work out that way. Pretty much first drive of the game, bang. Aaron Rodgers goes down the field, throws a touchdown pass to Davante Adams, and just like that, I'm toast. So kudos, Sean. It was a good fantasy football season for you. I don't know how often this happened, and I know people don't really care about our fantasy pools, but you finished one, and I finished two in the regular season. You finished 1 points for. I finished only 14 points for behind you for second best in that category. And it turns out we meet in the finals, the first seed against the second seed. So everything, I think, worked out like it should have. There was no upsets. There was no controversy. You had the best fantasy football team this year. So full credit. I have lost the bet. I'm going to be a man about it. And at some point, I will support a full mustache.
All right. So just the reason why you care about this fantasy football loss is because Mitch and I make bets. And the bet was there was three things that needed to happen. All right. So I'm looking forward to all of this. It was the man bun versus the mustache. And the first time that we cover a Montreal Canadiens game together at the Bell Center, it might be in 2022. Who knows when this is going to happen? But Mitch has to sport a mustache, not the straggly beard. It has to be a clean shaven mustache, just the mustache, or I would have had to do the man bun. So it's a mustache for Mitch. But on top of that, he has to deliver a 4-pack of our wonderful sponsors, the Campbell Play-by-Play IPA, to my door. He has to deliver this. My own beer to the door. He has to deliver it. So thank you to LaBrosse, and make sure you get it. I know that it is now 2021. They will be back open on January 8th, 133 LaBrosse. Check them out, LaBrosse Brewery, and you can go get your Campbell Play-by-Play IPA and your Angry Gallo Ale. You have to bring a 4-pack, and you are getting a T-shirt made. Now, here's something that we didn't discuss, but we have to discuss this before we get into the details of the rapid fire bench. You have to get a T-shirt made. Our good friends at Play It Again are going to get a T-shirt made that says, "I lost fantasy football to Campbell." Has to be said that on the front. Now, we didn't give parameters on when you need to wear this, but you can't just get a T-shirt and never wear it. This has something that we have to agree. You have to wear this at least a couple times in public.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'll say I'll wear it every time I'm part of any type of fantasy football draft, hockey pool draft, playoff hockey pool draft. And, you know, I do a lot of these things. And the Hope Campbell is that eventually, we have more of these in-person gatherings. And, I do some of these fantasy pools live on site on location.
I've been a
I'll
part
wear
of
the
them.
shirt on those occasions. I think anytime we do anything, even if it's a fantasy hockey preview show, maybe that's something we're going to do in the next coming weeks, getting ready for the season. Anytime I'm anywhere and there's going to be fantasy football involved, I'll try to wear the shirt. How's that?
I like that. Also, next time that we are in a locker room together, maybe a baseball field, and you have to wear a shirt in the locker room, I think that's a good one to wear too.
Yeah, well, I like wearing my other one that says Gallo 3, Campbell 0.
Yeah, I think we're 3-3 now, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's out. I think the shirt's a little outdated, but
I won the Kovalchuk draft. We still haven't even figured that one out, and I know that we have the Campbell play-by-play IPA versus the Angry Gal Ale. I know the Campbell play-by-play has an early lead, but still lots of time for you to catch up on that one. All right, so why don't we get into the rapid fire, Mitch, here on the Postgame Pints podcast, and why don't we jump into the NFL? You and I were watching two guys on Sunday night that meant a lot in our fantasy, Aaron Rodgers for me and Derrick Henry for you. Where do we all sit with the NFL MVP race? I think it's down to 2. Some people have it down to 4, and some people have made their choice, and that's it. I don't even know who. Like, I think I know who's going to win, but I don't know. I think it's really, really tight. Where are you leaning here?
I don't think it's very tight anymore. I think after that game on Sunday, and you know what? I was kind of excited going in, thinking, okay, maybe Derrick Henry's going to run wild with the poor field conditions at Lambeau and all the snow. But I should have realized that that's Green Bay's home field, and Aaron Rodgers might know a thing or two about playing on that field when the weather conditions are poor. So
I think he has 4 losses all time at Lambeau in his career in December. That's it.
Yeah, that's a crazy stat, especially considering where he's at in his career and how many games he's played. Sean, I think really that game put Green Bay's quarterback Aaron Rodgers over the top. I think it's done. It's a one-man race. I think Patrick Mahomes is a very solid number 2. But I think if you look at how close some of the games Kansas City has played in, how they played in some lower scoring games, how they've needed other players to step up big. Not that Adams and Jones and the supporting cast for Rodgers hasn't stepped up, but I just look at, what they have in their backfield with Allaire and Bell, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins. It just feels like there's so many riches on the Kansas City Chiefs, and not to mention a pretty darn good defense too. I look at Green Bay. After you get past Devontae Adams, I don't know how deep that receiving core is, with all due respect to those guys. It just feels like Aaron Rodgers is the reason that the Packers are the best team in the NFC. Patrick Mahomes is the reason the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC. But I think the impact that Rodgers has had on his team has been more significant, because going into the season, I would have put the Chiefs as the favorite to win that conference. But going into the season, I don't think I would have done the same with the Packers. And you being the Packers fan, I don't think you would have put them as the favorite to win the conference either. But Aaron Rodgers has certainly taken that team on his back and got them into that position.
Well, look, you can't ask me predictions with the Packers because I'm too much of a fan, and I will say 16-0 because I will not make a prediction that they're going to lose. I think they're going to beat everybody, and I think they have the talent to beat everybody. So I'm biased when it comes to wins and losses or predicting who's going to beat who. But when it comes to the MVP race, I will tell you throughout the season, people have asked me, and I know I will wear my Aaron Rodgers jersey, I'll wear my Packers hat, I'll get all into it. I was like, it's Patrick Mahomes. He's on the best team. He's playing the best. It's Patrick Mahomes. But I kept saying, Aaron Rodgers isn't out of the race. Aaron Rodgers isn't out of the race. Last week was the first time that I actually went, I think Aaron Rodgers took over. And it's funny because I checked the lines, and, I do the lines for OddsShark, and I checked the lines at OddsShark on the Monday after that game. And Aaron Rodgers, maybe it's just the general feeling, he was the first time all season the favorite for the MVP. Other than that, Patrick Mahomes led the way. Aaron Rodgers was further down. You could have gotten Aaron Rodgers at plus 600 by week 12, and he just gradually climbed up. He's leading the league in touchdown passes and interceptions against. He hardly gets sacked. If you're talking about superstars on his team, he's the only one. I know that Devontae Adams is there, and Devontae Adams, it's funny, I was talking to Simon Salikas, our good friend from TSN. He's like, Devontae Adams could be on that list for MVP with 17 touchdowns. It's unbelievable what he's doing, but he doesn't do what he does without Aaron Rodgers. There's no doubt about it. He's the guy that makes it go. So I think it's Aaron Rodgers. I know that there's this Josh Allen fan club. He's had, you know what? The type of season he's had could win the MVP one year, just not in a year with Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers done this year. So I'm with you. I think it's Aaron Rodgers. It'll be interesting to see if this last week makes a difference. The game doesn't mean anything for the Chiefs, and it does mean something for the Packers. So we'll see what the Packers are able to do, and maybe Aaron Rodgers pads his stats, or he has a game where it's not that great because it doesn't really matter as much, but they do want to get that bye. I'm curious, but I'm with you, and I'm glad that you've kind of turned that corner. Aaron Rodgers, the MVP. Oh, by the way, Aaron Rodgers, the MVP of my fantasy team too.
Yeah. Well, I think that we'd have a much easier time discussing, 3, 4, and 5 than we have discussing 1 and 2, because I think it's clearly Rodgers 1 and Mahomes 2.
Okay, so then who do you have at 3? Go. Who do you have at 3?
3, I'd probably have Derrick Henry. 4, I would have Josh Allen. And then 5, you got to give love sometimes to those defensive players, and Aaron Donald is a treat to watch. So that would be my 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I'll go Josh Allen number 3, because I look at with the Bills and then how tough where they are in the wild card. Like, think about, you take Josh Allen away from that Bills and they have some talent. I don't think the Bills are in the playoffs. And I understand you could say the same thing with Tennessee, but it is a little bit easier to replace a running back than a quarterback. And maybe Tennessee has 9 wins instead of 10, but I don't know if Buffalo has 12. I think Buffalo is sitting at 8 without Josh Allen.
Yeah, maybe that's the case, and I don't want to take anything away from Josh Allen. It is funny, though, because we do put so much emphasis on that quarterback position, but then I look around the league, and it's like, okay, a lot of guys have had to come in and play significant minutes for their teams, and those guys haven't been able to have success when they've been on good teams. Like Campbell, you look at the New Orleans Saints. They had to tread water when Drew Brees went down with injury.
Yeah.
We look at the Dallas Cowboys, battling right until the end for a playoff spot. They needed Andy Dalton to come in. Obviously, he was a significant downgrade from Dak Prescott, but he still got them in position to almost make the playoffs. And I think if you look around the league, Miami is kind of split time with 2 guys. The Bears fighting for a playoff spot has split time with 2 guys.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. But you get the point. I just find that, I don't like that we never give any love anymore for the MVPs to other players than quarterbacks. I think it's been like 12 years since an MVP was something other than a quarterback when Peterson was able to win it last at the running back
you just
position.
you just have to be that much better. Like Derrick Henry has been good, but Derrick Henry didn't do 2,200 yards,
Right.
and Tannehill has been good, his quarterback. And, if Tannehill was like a nobody and doing it like nothing, and they just had to hand it off all the time, and he was the only guy doing anything, I think you can make that case. But the quarterback position has become so important at the NFL level to read and to understand. And I think that's one of the reasons Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers are at the top of their game, because no one sees the game like they do. And the way that they can read a play, read a defense, they know what's going to happen before it happens, before any of us knows, maybe Tony Romo a little bit, but that's about it. But other than that, it is so impressive. So I think that's why it's a quarterback, and it's going to be really tough. I don't know when the next time. It'll probably be a defensive player that has 25 sacks, or it's going to be a DB that has 15 interceptions. That I think it'll take something like that to beat them.
Yeah. All right, Sean, let's move on very quickly and talk a little hockey. How have you felt about all the blowouts at the World Junior Championship?
Stop crying about it. It's competitive. It's not. I know that they're amateurs and they're juniors and they're under 20s, but stop crying about it. These kids know that they're facing Canada. They know they're facing Russia. They know that they're a smaller country. You don't want to get blown out. Play harder. Play better. Work harder. Know that next time you face them, that we lost by 10, we'll try to lose by 7. I hate this whining and complaining about the blowouts. If you don't like it, don't watch it as a fan. If you don't like it and you are participating in it, then don't be in competitive sports. And if you want somebody to dial it down and not score, well, maybe not have the plus minus mean something, because one team that gets beat 10-0 might be beat 12-0 by the next team. So I just hate the whining and complaining about the non-competitive games. If you want to restructure it, if the IIHF hates it, then restructure the format of how the teams get in. If the fans hate it, don't watch it. If the players hate it, don't play. There's an answer for every single one of the people that don't like it. So for me, I'll tell you, like, I know it's 4, 6, 7-0. I'll stop watching because I'm there for a fan. As long as it's not, Team Canada getting blown out, I'm fine.
Well, I just believe, Sean, that I take no satisfaction. I don't feel good watching a team have 16 goals put behind their goaltender. I get a lot of what you're saying, and that's why I think the most pressing thing that you mentioned was change the goal differential rules, change the tie break. I think that's where I'm at. A very simple solution, Sean, is instead of having the tie break being goal differential, have the tie break be goals against. And all of a sudden, all those problems that I'm talking about are fixed. And the other thing I would do is, and, maybe TV rights get in the way. I don't really care about that stuff because, I watch fighting sports, Sean, and you could have a first-round knockout and the TV people make their way fine, earning money in that, broadcasting that sport. When I played, when you had 8 goals put behind you, the clock became runtime.
Yeah, but look, that's amateur, and I get it, amateur.
Well, this is amateur too.
No, but people, like, when Canada was up 16-1, and I know that Germany scored to make it 16-2. People were like, "Oh, I feel bad for these guys." No, don't feel bad for these guys. These guys worked hard to get here, and I understand that they won a tournament to get in there, and they know that they're going to be facing competition. Plus, they had all these players missing, and they didn't have a full roster. You can get mad at the IIHF. But I don't feel bad for a team getting blown out. Mitch, I've played sports my whole life. I've lost by a large, large margin. Let me tell you, the first time I played amateur football, I lost 76-0. I was the St. Laurent Spartans against the North Shore, whatever team they were called, North Shore. They beat us 76-0. Do you think they stopped playing? No, make a tackle. That's what we had to do. I don't really care. It's competitive. When you're in a competitive, you're going to get blown out. It happens. Just work, keep working harder. If you have the inner competitive spirit, you'll still get out there. And if you don't, you'll lay over and it'll just get worse and it'll get ugly. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like people
Sean, I don't feel the need to run up the score like some of these games have turned out to be. I don't see the need for Canada to try to pop in 16 if there was no tiebreaker in place. Maybe if they change the tie-breaking rule, then instead of, trying to, it really looked like Canada was doing everything they could to score. Okay. And it's just like, maybe, you chip it into the corner, you play dump and chase, you play along the walls a little bit more. You're coming in on a 2-on-1, instead of taking a shot, maybe you pass it off and try to make a nice play. Maybe you have a break the other way and you swoop back into your,
I got a good idea because I did this. Okay. I played in a league a men's league. We were blowing out the other team. We were better than the other team. Okay. And
yeah.
I don't know,
three, you have to make 3 passes before you take a shot.
Yeah. We make that rule. And I'm not saying that that's the thing, but I'm saying you don't need to make that the thing. I think it's more embarrassing because I know I was sitting on the bench and we were up by 8-9 goals. My friend and I were bored. He's right-handed. I'm left-handed. I said, let's play the next shift, the other hands, and try and score a goal. He set me up and I whiffed in the high slot because I was trying to shoot right-handed and I'm a left-handed player.
Wow. Sean, I'm not saying you should show up the other team and try to mock them.
I think that's a little bit more embarrassing than actually letting a goal on the other side. So,
well,
I don't know. You can find all these ways to make the other team feel better, but you know what? You're in competitive sports. Suck it up.
Well, I'm really surprised that we didn't see somebody on the German team in that 16-2 game at least take a run or show some life, show a little agitation, act like you cared.
I would.
Yeah, well, and you know what? If the German team did that, maybe we would talk a little bit more about changing the tiebreak rule so we don't have these crazy blowout games.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't care. All right, so just speaking of competitiveness, I would like to get into our classic sports argument. And of course, Postgame Pints, Campbell and Gallo, brought to you by LaBrosse Brewery. Check them out, 133 LaBrosse in Point Claire. Get your Campbell play-by-play IPA, your Angry Gallo Ale. By the way, the reviews have been outstanding for both. I know that we are competitive, but I know that you've enjoyed the Campbell play-by-play IPA, and I will tell you I enjoy the Angry Gallo Ale. You've got a little hint of coffee, that little boost. It's, this is an IPA. If you've never really been a fan of IPAs, I've been told that people have tried this. They go, this is an IPA I like. It's a perfect IPA to introduce yourself to IPAs. Or if you didn't like one, try this one. It might be the one that you like. It's that kind of, that's why we focused it on. It wasn't going to be too powerful. But all your beer needs a LaBrosse Brewery. They will be opening it up again on January 8th. So make sure you check that out. Classic Sports Arguments, Mitch.
Yes, sir.
I'm curious, what's with watching these World Juniors, what's your favorite, or what do you think is the most competitive? You could kind of take this angle, whichever you want. International hockey competition. I know that people love the World Juniors. There's the Olympics. You have the World Championships. You want to throw the Club Spengler Cup, you can. There's the World Cup, which is done a little bit differently. I'm curious, what's your favorite international hockey competition?
Well, my favorite and the most competitive is two different things. I think the most competitive is the most recent version of the World Cup. When they created the under-23 team and Team North America, it turned out that, those teams were really competitive with the likes of Czech Republic, Sweden, Russia, Finland, Canada, and the U.S. So you put those two teams in instead of having teams like Austria, Germany, Slovenia, Slovakia, all these countries, you put them together all of a sudden. And also, not to mention, Sean, you take away some pretty good players potentially from Canada and the U.S. by creating that under-23 team. That was the most competitive one. In fact, we saw Team North America make it all the way to the final against Canada, even though Canada was ultimately able to prevail. So that's the most competitive, but that's not my favorite. My favorite is the Olympics. The Olympics has provided me with some of my favorite hockey watching moments of all time, whether it be the Sidney Crosby golden goal or it be Mario Lemieux letting the puck go between his legs. And I think it was Paul Kariya who scored after that. Maybe it was Joe Sakic. I don't remember. But, some of those great moments, Sean, they are Olympic hockey. And we know every time the CBA had been expiring in recent memory, the players wanted to go so bad. We know how important it is to those guys, for the Canadian players, for the U.S. players. Heck, there was a time when Alex Ovechkin said he was going to bail on the Washington Capitals and go play at the Olympics if the NHL didn't let him go. So just knowing the fire that these guys have and how badly they want to play in that competition at the Olympics, I have to say that's by far the best one.
Look, I think the prestige is there with the Olympics because there's nothing out there from a World Cup trophy, from a World Championship that can compare to an Olympic gold medal. Okay, so the prestige of the Olympic. But let's be honest. The Olympics, with the Olympic qualifying, is a bit of a joke. You get into 7 teams, and even those 7 teams, you could pretty much narrow it down who's going to be in the semifinal. You don't need to watch the round robin. Maybe there's one quarterfinal match that you're like, oh, Finland versus Sweden in the quarterfinals. I'll watch this. But it's usually Canada versus Slovakia or Canada versus Switzerland. And then it's the semifinals. If the tournament was just 4 teams, semifinals, the best in the world, the Olympics, I'm fine with it. And I'd say that's competitive. You're right with the World Cup being the most competitive because it has the most NHL players. It's NHL based. Team North America, you get that 23 team, but Team Canada is not the normal Team Canada. Team USA is not the normal Team USA. And Team Europe, you got to get the smorgasbord of the Slovenians, Slovakians, and they kind of have to make this team. For me, and I've always liked it, and I always find this tournament gets downgraded. It's a longer tournament. It's more competitive. It's the World Championships. And I understand that because the NHL's playoffs usually go on at the same time, you don't get all of what Team Canada or Team USA or even Team Russia would be, and these guys show up. I love that boost of extra energy after 2-3 games that guys show up. But it's tournaments where Slovakia, Czech Republic, it means the world to them. And their teams, like Switzerland, are way more competitive than they are at the Olympics, more competitive than they are at the World Cup, more competitive than they are at the World Juniors. And you get so many more competitive teams in a world championship, mainly because Team Canada is not the original Team Canada, but it's still a Team Canada that can win. And that's why I like it, because then you get kind of exposed to these other players that still have hockey left in them. And I've always been in on the World Championships. And I find that the World Championships for hockey gets no love for how competitive it is, how long it is, the boost in the storylines. I know we like the storylines of Team North America and Team Europe, who's going to be on what team, but it's like, okay, that team got eliminated. Are you going to call him? Are you calling Brendan Gallagher to go play for Team Canada? I love that stuff. I think that the World Championship just doesn't get enough love.
Yeah, well, you know what? I agree with you that the World Championship doesn't get enough love. And I would think if you would ask a lot of European hockey fans how they felt about that tournament, they'd probably really rave about it and, care about the winner of that tournament more than they would care about their favorite player from their country actually winning the Stanley Cup. So I want to take nothing away from that tournament. I like it every year. I would say the one thing about it, Sean, that I think would make it resonate a little bit more is if, from time to time we had it over here in North America.
Yeah, I think if you change it up a bit, it maybe be easier to get some of those guys when the playoffs are done to head over there. You're right.
That's not that. Oh, for sure. That's another point. I didn't even think of that. I just, if we had the World Championship here in Montreal per se at the Bell Center, I would love to go.
I'm in. I told you, I'm in love with the tournament. So let us know.
But I guess they never know about the arena availabilities, and if the Montreal Canadiens are playing in the playoffs at that time, how can you possibly have an international tournament ongoing?
Quebec City.
I'll make the drive with you.
Yeah, for sure. We might be busy with the playoffs, though.
Yeah, that's true.
By the way, what do you think is the most competitive hockey tournament? You can tweet directly at Mitch Y. Gallo, Sean R. Campbell, at Postgame Pints on Twitter. We want to hear you comment below, subscribe, listen, all your favorite. We're on audio, we're on video, YouTube, SoundCloud, Google Play, Spotify, iTunes. Everybody's, where is it? It's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. All right, Mitch, it's my turn to pop quiz you, right? Before we name that.
So.
All right, and the Postgame Pints podcast brought to you by LaBrosse Brewery. All right, I like this one because I think you're going to be angry about it. Hey, you're holding an angry Gallo ale. All right, so Corey Perry is joined the Montreal Canadiens, and he's going to wear number
94.
94. He is the 11th player in Montreal Canadiens history to wear the number 90 or higher. Now, so there's 10 other players. Here's the thing, Mitch. If you get 7, I think that's amazing. If I think you get 6, good for you. 5, all right, good job. 4, I'm disappointed. Okay? If you get 10, amazing. I don't think you're getting 10. So there's 10 names. 7 and 6, I'm proud of you. 5, that's about normal. 4, I'm disappointed. Those are my parameters of the question to you. So there's 10 names of players that have worn 90 or higher with the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, I'm not good with the numbers thing.
And that's why I know you were going to be angry about it, and that's why I didn't ask for all 10. Okay?
Doug Gilmour.
Doug Gilmour, very good. He was one of the ones I thought you were going to get, number 93.
Joe Juneau.
Joe Juneau. I did not think you were going to get Joey Juneau at number 90. So
you got to remember my age, Sean.
Yeah, but right now you are ahead of the game because Joey Juneau didn't play long for the Canadiens. But good for you. And now I feel like you're ahead of the game because I marked off 7 I think you can get. Joey Juneau was not one of them.
Trying to think of who wore 98, but I'm going to come back to that, I guess. Mikhail Sergachev?
Nope.
What's he wear now? Because I thought he wore a 90s number.
He's 90. He's 98 with Tampa.
He is 98 with Tampa. Okay, so they didn't give him that number when he was with Montreal. What about Sergei Samsonov?
Incorrect.
Okay. Trying to visualize different guys that have worn high numbers for the Canadiens.
Don't think too hard. Because there's a couple you should get right away, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, like right away.
What number does Thomas Tatar wear?
Did you have to say the number or you just have to say the name?
I'll just say the name, Thomas Tatar.
Number 90, Thomas Tatar.
Yes.
Same as Joey. So you have
again,
three.
You know I'm not a numbers guy, though, so it becomes
I know you're not,
difficult.
but they're guys you should know. Trust me,
Yeah.
they're guys, you know. There's one guy only you should know, by the way. There's one guy on the Habs that everybody's forgotten that he was on the Habs, but he wore in 90, and only you should know.
I don't even really know what that means.
You'll know when the name comes up. See, he's the guy I wrote down that you were getting him, but I didn't write down that you were getting Joey Juneau.
Yeah. Can you think of any guys who wore number?
All right, so
90 for the Habs?
one guy wore in the
One
90s.
more?
Okay, so one guy wore his number in the 90s for 1 year, and then he changed to another number, but it was a big deal.
It was a big deal. It was a big
Yeah.
deal. What number
Tell
did Chris
Caitlin
Higgins
to be
wear?
quiet. Tell Caitlin to be quiet. And Chris Higgins were 21. Okay, so if you're gonna give an answer, give a right answer.
What number did Chris Higgins wear?
21.
21.
Okay, just tell her to be quiet.
Somebody changed their number. It was a big deal.
It was a big deal when he changed his number, and he wore a 90s number for 1 year. That's one clue.
Gomez.
Yes, Scotty Gomez, number 91. There's one guy you should really get. I'm sorry, you should get like right away. And the two other guys are a little harder.
Zednik?
No.
Subban, no. Pacioretty, no. Markov, no.
You're at 4. You're at
What
4.
number?
Right?
What number did Valerie Bure wear with the Habs?
It wasn't in the 90s.
Wasn't in the 90s.
I think he wore 17, but I'm not sure. Maybe it was 16.
I'm struggling, Sean.
I know. I'm disappointed.
How many did you say you'd be disappointed?
4. I'd be disappointed
4?
if you got 4.
So I'm at 4.
Yeah. Because you got Joey Juneau, Thomas Tatar, Gomez, and Gilmore, and there are 6 others, but there are a couple guys I'm pretty sure you're not going to get. And then because it was quick, they weren't here long. There's one guy I'm almost positive you were going to get. It's such an odd number that no one wears, but you know the player, and he had a stint here in Montreal, and you know that his stint was short, but you also know the player quite well, and you like him. The other one, there's 2 guys you should get. One was a very short stint, and one guy's on the team right now. So there's a clue for you.
Gonchar?
No.
One guy's on the team right now. Let's go through. Let's go through the lineup.
Well, I was like, come on, dude. This is an easy one.
Corey Perry?
No. I told you Corey Perry's the 11th. I need the 10 others.
Okay.
Corey Perry doesn't count that way.
Dano, no. Gallagher, no.
There's a guy that wore Corey Perry's number, though. How's there? That's another clue. There's a guy that wore Corey Perry's. There's 2 guys that wore Corey Perry's number before him.
Yeah, that's why. Did I guess Berzin yet?
Who?
Berzin?
You got it, baby. That's the guy I knew you were gonna get. Sergei Berzin.
Okay, I thought for some reason when you were saying the question, I thought of him and then I forgot to say him.
That was the guy I said I thought you were gonna get right away. Sergei Berzin, number 95.
95. Okay, I thought he was 94.
No. There's 2 guys that were 94, and I only wrote one of them that I thought you were gonna get.
Yeah. Okay, I got the first line.
You're still missing a player on the team.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying I got the first line down.
Yeah.
Suzuki, no. Toffoli, no. Anderson, no.
The best thing is I know the people on YouTube right now can't see Dave trying to do it, but he is laughing because he knows exactly who it is. I can by the way he's laughing, I can tell that he knows who it is.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive. So now look, you're at 5, and I'm disappointed. I feel like this is taking way too long, and I've given you clues.
Yeah, I'm Tostitos.
Okay, so Joey Juneau and Thomas Tatar wore 90. Scott Gomez wore 91. Jonathan Drouin wears 92. So did Steve Ott before he came. So Steve Ott wore 92.
I was not getting Steve Ott.
Doug Gilmore, 93. Number 94, I didn't think you were going to get Tom Pyatt, but I thought you were going to get Yannick Perreault, face-off specialist. And Number 95 was Sergei Berezin, and no one is saying Olivier Michaud, who is this goalie who played, I think, 1 or 2 games at 95. I did not have him on the list of anybody getting him. So 5 out of 10. I'm a little disappointed in you, Mitch. Maybe that could be the name of the podcast.
Yeah. Fun fact, Yannick Perreault led the Canadiens in points one year.
I know. With 47, was it?
I want to say 49, but we could have a fact check on that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. We'll let you fact check. Maybe that should be the name of the podcast. What do you want to name it? I have Suck It Up, Disappointed in You, Gallo, or Fact Check.
Well, since we also talked about me losing the bet in the fantasy football pool, I'd go with I'm disappointed in you, Gallo. Because I'm disappointed in Gallo.
Yeah, you didn't say Jonathan Drouin. That sucks.
Yeah, I guess maybe subconsciously I was hoping he wasn't on the team anymore.
I love that you were going through the lines and you just skipped totally over him.
I don't even know what line he fits on now.
Doesn't matter. We'll find out. I know in next episode we're talking lots of hats, so looking forward to that.
Yes, for sure, my friend. Cheers.
Cheers. That's the Postgame Pints podcast, brought to you by LaBrosse Brewery.
Well, how's that for your entertainment value?
They've done their job very, very well.
Awesome!
No.